All right, what's up again? How y'all doing? Welcome back. This is day 4 of the no cut one take challenge here on my channel, where I am taking on this challenge to get more comfortable in front of the camera as well as sharpen my content making skills. It was another good productive day today. It's Friday here in Hawaii. And although it's sunny out, it's not sunny, it's the total opposite. It's rainy and windy outside. It's been a good day. I obviously can't be out in nature again, but being here in this classroom is just as good. So what I got planned today is nothing too crazy. I just want to talk about the narrow path, which could mean many different things. In a biblical sense, Jesus talked about the narrow path being obviously lonely and hard, and it leads to heaven. But the wide path being, full of a lot of people, that leads to worldly desires and, eventually separation from God. But I'm not necessarily going into that sense today or interpretation of it today, but more so a general sense, because in the I guess that could be the real world too, depending on how you or what you believe. But in an everyday sense, the narrow path is just as hard to walk along, and has good and bad consequences, much like that of the biblical interpretation. So I want to start off by just saying that, I want to start off by describing what I think the narrow path is, in my interpretation in everyday life. And so I think that the narrow path is essentially the things that you do to separate yourself from either the competition, whether you look at everybody as a competition, or if you have real competition, like in a job, if you play sports, friendly competition, things of that nature. The narrow path obviously is a lot harder. It's narrow for a reason, right? It doesn't get trampled down, and not a lot of people go down it because either one, it might be too hard, might be too difficult for them to really kind of stay disciplined to stay down it. But also, some people just don't care enough, don't want it enough, and that's all good. But I think for those who want to be great and who want to be the best version of themselves, this narrow path seems like the only option, right? At least for me in my life, going down this narrow path is basically turning away from everything that you want to do, essentially, rather than being disciplined and sticking to a routine. I read a quote before this that actually inspired me to actually talk about this, and I don't want to get it wrong, so let me just quickly pull it up. So it says, follow the crowd if you want an ordinary life. My interpretation, because I did learn from a man that goes by the name of Myron Golden, who is extremely amazing at what he does on YouTube. He does have a channel that I've been watching for over a year now, and he's incredibly successful in his business. Expenditures is probably the right word. It just sounded a little weird. But yeah, he's incredibly successful. He preaches about when you either learn something or read something in a book or see a quote, it's nice to be able to read it and reflect on it and relate to it, but to take it one step further, you should add, your little, thought to it, to basically allow that to be integrated into your mind and make it your own. Because it's one thing to just like read a bunch of quotes and get motivated by them, but it's another to learn from them and harness them. And so with this quote I wrote, they say, "Follow the crowd if you want an ordinary life. I'm trying to stay on the path that's narrow." So I think I got that narrow path kind of analogy out of it because of what I've learned from Jesus' teachings. Aside from it being like a spiritual kind of interpretation from the Bible, like that is still a concept that is very much so real in everyday life. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to come in and almost even say, like, for whoever is watching, that consistently, stays on a very disciplined and sometimes even lonely path that requires you to say no to friends, sometimes requires you to like not go out, indulge in that kind of lifestyle, that and not necessarily saying it's bad or that you should never do it, but like, let's be honest, like, it's very distracting, and there's a lot more useful things that you could do with your time other than do things like that, outside of just like regular like hangouts, like those are always good, and I tend to always make that a priority over anything. If I do get invited out, or if I do have like some sort of like get together function, I make it a priority to go to that, regardless if I have work or anything, because those are the things you can't get back, and so you can move around. I can move around my schedule to make it work most times. But yeah, things like that, just like saying no to distraction. And one big part that I've learned is that saying no to distraction and having to say no to those types of invites, I guess you could say, it definitely can feel ostracizing, because so many of the people around us are deep into that lifestyle, and they love that lifestyle, and they crave it more than most things. Because I am in my early 20s, and that's just what most people in the early 20s do, and I can't blame them. I can't look down on them. I can't think that I'm better than them in some sort of way. Like, that's not what I'm trying to get at. But at some point, like, even they are gonna like come to some sort of like epiphany that, hey, like, what am I doing? Like, there's much more to life than this. And so some people just have it in them from an early age, and chase that, and that narrow path becomes easier and easier to walk down. And I think that's possible for anybody. So the point of all this is to say that essentially that narrow path is like extremely respectable. And although to the world, who doesn't necessarily see it that way, like, at some point everybody must choose. Am I going to, go down this narrow path, or go down the easy, much more attractive path? And so I think if you're watching this right now, I highly recommend going down that narrow path, even if it doesn't look as attractive, even if you're not going to have as many friends, even if you feel like you get FOMO, like the fear of missing out, like, that's never going to go away. And I think there's much more to life than that. that very wide path. And there's the concept of, sacrificing today to be able to enjoy tomorrow. And maybe for most people, like, you have to sacrifice years, maybe sometimes decades, to be able to get to that, that next day where, you're able to enjoy the fruit of your labor. But that's the fun in it, I think. Like, life is only as good as you make it. And there is beauty in that struggle, in that grind, because deep inside that you're chiseling, you're refining yourself. You're putting yourself through that fire to become gold in the end. Like, I don't want to be too cliche with the analogies, but like, pressure makes diamonds, and that's one of the laws of nature. And our relationship to that is very much so parallel. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound too preachy, but I understand that not a lot of people understand this and live it out. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention. It was just another kind of thought I had today. It was a good day, and I got a lot done. Again, I've been saying this last couple of days, but today was a little bit harder because I woke up a little early. I chose to do the hard stuff as soon as I woke up, and I hope that it got easier throughout the day. But it just felt like there was a pile of responsibilities still there, and even as I'm making this, I'm thinking of those responsibilities, and to just kind of vent a little bit more, I am choosing between going and working or relaxing and going and playing basketball, getting my mind right, because I know there's like a traffic jam in my brain right now. And going and playing basketball will not only obviously be more exercise, which is good for this season of my life, but also just because like I understand how good exercise is for my mental, and that's something that you really can't handle lightly. I have this constant battle almost of like trying to find the middle ground of being too on the grind and like taking some time off to like be me and enjoy life and enjoy the moment. And I think as I go along this 30-day challenge, I will be able to hear and watch me. Sorry, I can't cut it out either. So you guys are gonna have to watch me just sneeze. But I hope you guys drop in the comments a little bless you with the hand praying emoji. Appreciate that. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying now. And no cuts. We had this problem last time, but whatever. I'm gonna be able to watch back and see my thought process in this season, in this month of making videos every day. And yeah, I appreciate Zach Pogrob on Instagram, the obsession guy, for really planting the seed in me and planting the seed in me to really go out and become better at content making and pushing myself to be a better speaker. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Right now we're at 14 minutes. Okay, so it's getting easier and easier to talk and make these videos for a longer period of time. It's just flying by. But anyways, I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.